bought something else. I told myself I wouldn't, but I saw this and I've been kind of looking out for a model similar to this. Let me crank up the brightness here. This is a Sony combination DVD writer VHS VCR. The model, I'll have to unplug these cables, is a RDR-VX525. And the reason I picked it up is it has upscaling on the HDMI output. And I had read that some of these models will actually take the VHS signal and or the tuner and line-ins and upscale them to an HDMI output. And the reason I like this is right now for capturing old media, what I'm doing is I have a little standalone HDMI capture device, and then I'm using a little composite to HDMI converter to run my VCRs in. And the composite to HDMI converter kinda sucks. The AGC is very unreliable. It'll give too much gain or not enough gain, and I find myself feeding in a signal that I know will bring it to a correct amount of gain, then quickly flipping to the VCR, because the VCR, when you're playing a VHS tape, you know, the signal can be all over the place, and sometimes it is too dark, sometimes it's too bright, and when it cranks it up too much, you wash out the picture. So even if I try and darken it in the video editing software, you know, the information there is gone. So what I've done here is plug this back in. I didn't come with the remote, and so far I've tried one remote and wasn't able to switch the inputs, so it's stuck on line 2, but I can still plug into there. So I'm plugged into line 2. On the back here, I've got the HDMI out going to this TV, and the line in here is coming from this other Sony VCR. And if I go and hit play, filming black electronics is problematic. It's upscaling and doing not a bad job. Let me just... It's doing not a bad job. I mean, obviously when you pause and you get a bit of jitter there, the interlacing is not great. I'll see how it does with a couple test runs. But this seems to do what I want it to do. And another interesting point, it has an S-video input. So if I feed my SVHS machine into it, will it be able to capture off there? Because that'll be a nice bonus. My current upscaler only has composite input. So yeah. Another thing I was reading is that this has a digital tuner in it, and it will be able to tune ATSC channels. I haven't confirmed this yet, but it can't record off the built-in tuner. I just brought this in from outside in the cold. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit before I test the VCR portion out. In the thrift store I did throw a tape in there, and it seemed to play it fine. Transport worked. You could hear the head spin up. I mean, I wasn't able to plug it in to see any video output, but it didn't need the tape, which is always a good first start. But this functionality I'm pretty happy with. The reason why I bought this, believe it or not, I don't have a DVD player. I've had several in my life. When Blu-ray came out, we got a deal on a Blu-ray player and went, well, I won't need the DVD players anymore. Gave them to friends and family. Blu-ray sucks. It just sucks. With streaming, especially nowadays, you go and you hit play and it streams the movie, and it's easy and it's seamless and it's great. Blu-ray, you gotta wait through the ads, wait through the previews, wait through the menu, go through all this garbage. You can't just like play the movie that you bought or rented. Yeah, the quality's good, but there's so many hurdles. If you don't have it plugged into your internet, or if you're somewhere without internet, forget about it, because if the movie's newer than the player, it has to download new encryption keys. So what's the point? I might as well just be streaming the movie then. Or with DVD, and I'll find out if this has the trick. You used to be able to put the movie in, do a couple play, stop, and it would just play the movie. Didn't have to worry about going through. You could use the menu if you wanted to. Oh, that's kind of an unhealthy sound. This part might be bad. Oh, here we go. So if I go stop, play, stop, play, stop, play, does this follow the old trick? Ah, damn. Aha, I remembered it. So if I go and hit stop completely, let's, for science, let's try this trick. So I'll pop the DVD back in. Okay, so it's bringing me to the beginning, and it's stop, stop, play. Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. Like, I don't even need a remote for this. I just want to watch the movie. I guess the special features and stuff like that, but I'm sure I'll be able to find a remote. Either way, I'm pretty happy with this. Normally, I hate these combo units, especially the plastic silver ones. I think they look tacky. I think they're built very cheaply. I'm sure the build quality in this thing is not great. It's from 2007, which is like well past the tail end of a quality VHS VCR. Got this nice translucent door that flips down. It's got a good look to it. I'll probably never record to DVD on it though. DV in. So this has a FireWire input. So does that mean that I could plug a, you know, mini DV camera in here and then it would upscale to HDMI? I don't know why I'd want to do that, but probably. I grabbed a light and I mounted it to my handy dandy oscilloscope stand, and that illuminates the front much better. Lighting is always critical. Another part to my rant on Blu-ray. Leaving it plugged into your network. You know, this player is over a decade old. Samsung stops updating their phones a few years after they sell them and they become security risks. What about this Blu-ray player from 2008 or 2010 or whenever I bought it, that I have to keep plugged in so that it can keep updating keys? What happens if it no longer has support? What happens if the manufacturer goes out of business? Does that mean the player is useless? It's slow, it's clunky. Okay, enough ranting about Blu-ray. Let's go to video. Seems to be working. Can't tell if it's hi-fi audio or not because this TV or movie or whatever sounds like crap. But I mean, it plays. That's something. Didn't even care if it played. Well, I'm happy with my purchase. I paid more than I normally would have. This was 20 bucks without a remote, but it does what I want to, even without the remote, so happy. And I was wrong talking about it having a digital tuner. I read that somewhere online. If we take a look at the back, there is no RF component here at all. There's no tuner. So that's what they mean by this doesn't have a tuner, you'll have to find your own. And that makes sense. By 2007, that was right before the digital transition. Digital tuners were kind of new, expensive, not in every component. But putting an analog tuner in here it would have been just a waste of money when everyone has set-top boxes or is going to be going digital and probably getting one of those free digital tuner boxes from the US government. So, yeah, I can understand why they didn't put a tuner in here. What on earth is this crap? It's like crumbly, chalky stuff. There's one piece on this transport here, and there's some more of it down there, and right on this edge here. Looks like a tape was put in here with a bunch of crap on it and that all got inside. Oh yeah, it's stuck to there. I'm going to insert some photos during this because taking video I can't really zoom in too much. I have no idea what that is. I'm just going to clean it up and hope it's nothing too bad. That took a lot of cleaning. There was so much gunk at the tops and bottoms. It wasn't anything in the middle, but the tops and the bottoms were just caked in that white crap. And removing it, like even on the drum, there was a lot of gunk. Really the only clean part of this were the actual video heads. And I think they were saved by that auto head cleaner thing, which upon removing the foam just disintegrated into nothing. So good timing on that, I guess. But I'm wondering if someone went and played their old moldy, aren't you going in? Their old moldy home movies to digitize them, and that just gunged up this whole setup here. That's cool. Can't seem to get any tracking artifacts. It just sort of goes like that. There's definitely no hi-fi audio though. Definitely no hi-fi. And I did clean the video and hi-fi heads as well. You know what? Not a big deal. I don't plan on using the VCR part of this unit anyway. Though if there was mold there, then this Scooby-Doo Winter Wonder Dog tape might be moldy now too. Oh well.